Yo, yo, yo. Can you hear me okay? Sorry, man. That song goes hard at the end, and I'm like always like jamming out to that song. So, but yeah, welcome everybody to the DLP. We're gonna go ahead and maybe share on a few social medias. I actually have not reposted on Twitter in like the longest time for this account, so we'll see if I'm even still
I
logged
get that
in.
shared.
Right. Give me a second. But yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good Sunday. Welcome in. Myself, Mike the Biz, and Tito. And we should be joined by another guest here. We should be talking about the John Cena, The Last Time Is Now tour, his final match, our thoughts as far as, the year goes with this tour and his career as a whole, right? Definitely have a lot of thoughts and opinions on it. And there's been a lot of mixed reaction as well when it comes to Cena's, final tour and even the last match and how it went down, right? Like, the outcome of the match. So we'll go ahead and get into it. Let me just again share what's going on.
Fans. Oh my God, fans.
We got, oh, here we go. And, Mr. Gill's in the house while we're getting the sharing on Twitter going. And then we'll get that going. But yeah, how's everyone doing today? How's everybody's Sunday?
It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday. You didn't have to work today or anything like that?
No, nothing
I do
like
tonight.
that today.
Tonight I do.
Okay, so hopefully you get to take a little nap.
He's got his video session tonight.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
man.
just show you this. Yeah, you can, and one of you guys, if you want to go get it started while I
Yeah,
share
dude.
this on social media.
For sure. Let's address the fans last night. I
Yeah,
know
let's go.
there were mixed emotions, as you said in the beginning. I think one of the things I want to address with the fans is the reason, it would be too predictable if people just thought like Cena was going to win his very last match. In actuality, the way that I see it, I'm not upset with him taking the L to Gunther at all whatsoever, and I feel like that was a very good way to just kind of elevate Gunther, like to get more heat on him by being the one that technically made John Cena give up. So that was a great way to end it. But I know fans were just so pissed. They were screaming BS. They're chanting. And even when Triple H came out, they were like, "You effed up." Like, oh my God, people relax. Like, John, you have to remember, since we're going to be going over John's career as a highlight for this podcast, people have to remember the one major thing that John does is he puts people over.
Mhm.
Talent that he sees that has it, he will put them over. I mean, Kevin Owens, to name one, he's
One
put
time, and then he'll beat them 40 times.
yeah, but still, he still puts them over. At the end of the day, he could have been like Hulk Hogan. He could have been, pulling his creative control card and not wanting to lose to a certain somebody and all this other stuff. But from what a lot of people have stated, he's not really like that to a degree backstage. I mean, yeah, he, of course, he's gonna beat him out like I wouldn't exaggerate, say 40 times, but
Yeah.
more enough, close enough to that. Like you're not wrong with that one, Mr. Heyman over there. But I think that's what it was. And honestly, for someone to get put over, Gunther being that person, like I like that angle. I really do, because to me, we don't really have a good heel that can stand his ground. Like we've had a bunch of heels that have always relied on just manipulation and factions. And Gunther, yeah, he had a faction at one point, but he always held his own. Like he backed up his words. So for John to put him over, to put that heat on him, because you know what's going to happen when Gunther cuts a promo in the ring tomorrow. That's just going to be
He's gonna
insane.
get so much heat tomorrow on
Yeah.
Monday night. It's gonna be crazy. And going back to the booing to Triple H, not just like after the match happened, but the post show interview. I didn't see it. I didn't see it because I turned it off. But I heard that there was AEW chants going on in the background also.
Man.
So he's Triple H getting a lot of heat, and it's funny because Triple H even said like while he was being interviewed, he's like, "That's it. You guys couldn't boo like harder than what you're booing right now." And going back, like, yeah, John Cena, I think he's a traditionalist when it comes to the sport of professional wrestling, right? I don't think if he wanted to win, he would have won, right? And he's not in the business to do that. He's in the business to put over people. Now, there's been some cases where we've seen talent retire on a W, right? Most notably, the most recent one was Sting for AEW, right? Goldberg lost his against Gunther back in July. Undertaker, I believe, won his final match. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it wasn't even like he wasn't in front of a crowd or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I believe that different careers, you're going to get different outcomes, right? But for the most part, like 98.9% of the time, the wrestler who is retiring is going to lose the match. I saw a post earlier of a list of wrestlers that retired that lost, right? Notably Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, obviously Goldberg. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the older generations that went out, they lost, right?
Hulk Hogan.
Bret Hart.
No, Hulk Hogan. Well, if you think
Bret
about
Hart
it,
lost his mind.
Stone Cold didn't lose his last match either. Stone Cold beat Kevin Owens, so yeah, Bret Hart didn't get.
Bret Hart lost his mind. I bet some of it's still stuck under Goldberg's boots.
Oh man.
Hey, I love what's going on with Bret Hart, though. I love his comedy.
I love Bret.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like, the whole show all put together, I think, the Saturday night main event, considering the last couple ones that were total shit, I think this one actually delivered, considering it was 4 matches, right? We had Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi, which, that was a very good match. A lot of fans were pissed that it ended the way it did. You had Bailey versus Sol Ruka, right? Which,
I like that match.
Went over. I think Sol Ruka will be on the main roster very soon. She doesn't have a title holding her down in NXT. We had the tag championship match, Javon Evans and a TNA talent, Leon Slater, right, who's the X Division champion currently, versus the current tag champions, which I thought that was pretty cool because AJ Styles was the one that made the X Division title, and he was wrestling an X Division champion in that tag match. And you never know, right? Next year is going to be AJ Styles' retirement tour. He's going to possibly have at least one match in one of the TNA events, probably, or vice versa. Maybe they'll bring TNA talent over to wrestle him in WWE. I would like to see that before he retires. And that match was a pretty solid match. I think Javon Evans and Leon Slater are great talents. They're going to be big whenever they get that call up. We got the little bit of Joe Hendry there towards the end, also with the Miz. Didn't expect that. I really didn't think that bit was necessary, but I was like, okay, they want to kill more time. I didn't think we were going to go overtime on the main event either. So I thought they were going to end like right at 9 o'clock, just like they did it with Goldberg, and they were just going to cut Cena off. But the match kept going. Cena got his. He got to take off his shoes and, take off his wristbands and whatnot, leave him in the ring. CM Punk and, Cody Rhodes came out and they gave tribute to him. They put the belts on him.
Which fans need to stop with that. I don't know. I just got to interject one thing. Fans, he's not 19, okay? They didn't forfeit titles to him. They had him carry the titles one last time.
Yeah, I think
he's 19 now. What the hell? These fans, man, are just all over the place. I mean, I don't know. John Cena leaving just had people just lose their minds because fans are like, he's 19 now. He's almost to 20. He should just do one more year. Like, no, they didn't forfeit the belt to him.
Yeah.
They just had him carry it just one last time and pose with those titles one last time to the crowd. Like, oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was good. And overall, the match, it was a solid match. I think a lot of people are taking it way more seriously than what it is, right? I mean, wrestling. I hate to say it, right, guys? Wrestling is fake, right? Wrestling is fake, but
if Donald Trump and Vince McMahon had shown up as rumored, that would have probably got less heat.
Oh my God!
The Triple H, you're right about that. But no, yeah, going back, man. I mean, yeah. The emotions that it gave you as a fan, like if you follow John Cena over the past 20 years, right? I mean, for myself, I was not a John Cena fan at the beginning. I was not a prototype fan, whatever you want to call it. Like really, when John Cena started, Back in what, '04, early 2000s or whatever. I'm not 100% sure when he exactly started. I think it was while I was still in high school though. But I really didn't follow it because I think back then, like, he was on SmackDown and I didn't have the channel that aired SmackDown. I knew of him, right? You would see bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah.
Really though, I didn't get to see who John Cena was until he was the WWE champion and he got moved over to Monday Night Raw. So it's like, the whole Doctor of Thugonomics thing I kind of missed out on. I did see it, like, I was able to still see bits and pieces every now and then
That
on
was funny.
WWE.com or whatever before the whole YouTube era. But like, watching him, I did take a small break from wrestling between like '05 and like 2009. So there was a whole window there where I just wasn't watching. But when I started watching again, I was able to see, him versus Edge, him and Randy Orton feuds, and him versus CM Punk. Towards the end of CM Punk's tenure during that time, and I was like, man, dude, these are all fucking great, stories and great feuds, and I enjoyed it. I was still always going for the other guys because I was really not John Cena fan because he was more of a face back then, and as an older wrestling fan, you sort of gravitate towards the heels, and that's how I was going. I was always going for Edge. I was always rooting against Cena, but I was never one of those fans who were like, oh, I hate Cena. I was just like, I'm just not a fan of John Cena, right? So like, towards the end, obviously he's been acting the last few years, so we really haven't seen him. He's been just, coming in, doing the Undertaker retirement thing, just wrestling once a year before he actually retired, right? But luckily we were
Right.
able to get that retirement tour. So, I was like, oh shit, when they announced that last year, I was like, holy crap, like this is going to be an interesting year. And I knew from the start that this year was going to be mostly about Cena. It wasn't going to be about Roman Reigns. It wasn't going to be about Cody, even though their stories, all intertwined, during that era, and John Cena, he won the championship. He turned heel, the worst heel turn in WWE history. I don't know. But it's like the story, even though it wasn't perfect, right? I don't think Cena.
Was it worse than Stone Cold's?
I don't think so. No, I definitely don't think so. I think Stone Cold had a worse heel run than Cena. Definitely, people really hated Stone Cold's heel turn, but
Well,
uh,
he had Stone Cold had polarizing heel
yeah,
personas, right? So like
yeah.
the latter during the whole invasion thing was just kind of like ridiculous. But when he was the ringmaster,
Mhm.
Ted DiBiase's $1 million champion,
They had to keep him a heel because WCW didn't have any of the major folks except Booker T.
yeah,
You know, um, you know. Now that this is all over, now's the perfect opportunity for Dominic Mysterio to brag about Gunther retired John Cena, but he beat John Cena for his final championship.
yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
He
heat
should
set up.
definitely capitalize.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat set up. Like this is why, like, I think the way that Cena went out was such a good way, and not only for business, but just also just like I said, the way that Cena will put people over, like he will, and that's where you have it, right? Because there's a lot of like Dom still gets like such good heat from the crowd. Is like there's nothing that can go on that makes me like actually fall into the moment to dislike Dominic Mysterio. Like I'm just a huge fan of the way that his work ethics is, and like even my wife was talking about it the other day when we were doing Amazon Flex. She was talking about Dominic. She's like, him and his dad, they carry on. They stay in kayfabe in real life because of that photo that Rey Mysterio took with his daughter hiking, and then Dom commented it on Instagram saying, "You're a deadbeat dad." I'm like, yeah, father and son, they're
Mhm.
carrying it on screen, off screen, like they're just doing it. Dom just does it in such a great fashion. So this being something that Dom can say, like whether I disagree with people on Reddit that's posting. I don't think Gunther's gonna flip face anytime soon. That would be too stupid to do that. But I do see him and Dom just kind of having a clash of victories over John because Gunther can say that I made him give up, which is what he
Yeah.
promised he was going to do. But Dom can say, "Well, I beat him and got my IC title back." So
But
Yeah.
here's the thing I have. Yes, Cena tapped out, but did you see the face he
oh
made?
yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
He
okay,
smiled at
you
the
can
end.
have
Yeah.
it.
Same one
So
at
this,
the end.
This, honestly, in my
yeah,
opinion, this is a burial for Gunther.
You really
I
say
don't,
that
This
way?
is an absolute burial for him.
I don't think so.
I want to say it would bury him.
I
I
disagree.
think it got
Yeah.
the heat that they were wanting Gunther to have. What up,
I mean,
Gene?
did you hear the boos at the end? You know, do you think that they were at the time? Obviously, they're
The
going
faces.
at the reaction, but the fans and the reactions was crazy, right? We don't see a lot of that in the current WWE state. So I don't think it buries Gunther at all. You know,
Put it this way:
I think
the
him losing
fan,
would have been worse.
the fan
I
reaction.
think it buries him because
Mhm.
not because they're gonna they're more mad at the office than anything.
For now.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't. I think that if I was the one writing the show, I would have had I would have had a different finish. I would have still had Gunther go over.
Yeah,
But it's just the mechanics are all fucked up all across the board. So there was really this was a damned if you do, damned if you don't
yeah.
situation.
I mean, people would have been pissed if he would have won. People would have been pissed if he lost, which obviously he lost. So at the end of the day, you can't make everybody happy in this type of match, right? You know, someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose. And I think,
And I want to know who these fans are. Like, did they forget that
yeah,
this is a work?
right. It's all work.
Like they're not
Well,
fighting for real.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's fans that that are just like what I call casuals, right? Like they really buy into the story and they don't look any deeper than
yeah,
that. But I feel honestly, I feel like that it got what they were trying to achieve, and the only reason why I say that is the reaction of the fans, not the sound, the faces, the expressions were
mhm,
like the same expressions when Brock pinned the Undertaker and broke the
yeah,
streak.
yeah.
It was
Everybody
that
was
type of
shocked.
shocker,
Yeah,
So I mean, the only way that this falls apart is if the writers and the powers behind in Gorilla don't capitalize on this heat that Gunther now has, that he definitely can use to an advantage to not just go over the same crappy style of storylines, but even probably create some new ideas out of it, as well as bring new talent in. Because I feel like
I have a bold
go
prediction.
for it.
If he's not champion before WrestleMania, he wins the Royal Rumble.
Okay, I can see that.
uh, no, I don't see him winning the Rumble this
What?
year, especially in Saudi Arabia this coming
One or
year.
the other, Rumble
Uh,
or what is that? Shit, what's that event? Elimination Chamber.
I think this is going to okay. This is my opinion, right? But I think this is going to lead into something that we might see a trend with Gunther in this following year, right? So if he retired Goldberg and John Cena, right? Who's to say that he's not going to be the guy that isn't going to retire AJ
CM
Styles or
Punk.
Brock Lesnar or possibly Randy Orton, right? Because again, all of these talents possibly are going to be retired. And not just them, but we forget about Rey Mysterio also,
My
guys.
brother, my
Yeah, Rey
brother says
Mysterio.
that Braun Breaker's another candidate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I
To
agree.
what?
Like
Win the Rumble
Breaker,
or to end careers?
Both.
Both.
I think Breaker is going to win the title before he wins a Rumble. If that makes any sense. If that makes any sense.
I don't know.
So I don't think they're gonna. The thing about Breaker is okay. One, he's a heel right now, right? You're so like why give a guy that type of like he doesn't need to win a Rumble. Like a Rumble to me is like okay, like you're like a guy that's kind of like a Sami Zayn, right? Where you're kind of like an underdog. I don't think anyone sees Braun Breaker as an underdog in the picture currently, right? So but that's just my take on
Oh,
it, right?
can I answer this question from Gene?
Sure, I see the question. What's going on? Let's put it
Gene,
up. Let's put it up for the
put it
fans
up. Yeah.
here.
So why did WWE partner with TNA? I think the reason why they did this, in my opinion, was you have to look back in history, right? There are matches that we never got to see, and I think
Yeah,
that's one of the influenced reasons why WWE decided, okay, you know what, let's start a partnership with other promotions. Let's kick us, a partnership with TNA. Also, they wanted to do that because AEW was already kind of like on that, right? AEW is WWE's like primary competitor at this point right now, and
yep,
so if WWE didn't do it, for sure AEW would have done it. The thing here is,
I think that WWE wants to buy their tape library. That's been long
oh yeah,
rumored.
I mean that's another reason. But like what I mean, what I'm saying, like one of the reasons is because like there's a one match that we'll never get. The only way you're gonna see this one particular match is if you play like WWE 2K or some sort of wrestling game.
AI.
Hey, or you could do AI to make it, but I mean I don't think it would still be the same. And that would be Undertaker versus Sting. We never got it. And we wouldn't have wanted it when they're both, basically 1 foot out the door. We wanted it in the prime, Starcade
Didn't they
'97,
wrestle?
Versus Undertaker.
Didn't they wrestle early in their careers? But not as Dead Man. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that. I know
early in
that.
their careers they did, but we never got. I think it's also because of the personas they carried, right? The Crow Sting and the Lord of Darkness. We never got that clash. A lot of people felt like the Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, one from heaven, one from hell, was kind of like a playoff off that, right? Because
Wait,
Sting's character is
wait.
based on the Crow, which is fallen angel. Not a fallen angel, but an angel in sense.
Password.
And then you have the Undertaker, who is like the Lord of Darkness. And so Shawn has wrestled Sting in an outside promotion for a religious wrestling event. I remember that. But see, we never got matches like that. So for WWE to create this partnership with TNA opens that doorway. Because I mean, honestly, we got Joe Hendry coming in, and then we get to see the Hardys again without the Hardys actually being re-signed to WWE. And if we get
Yeah.
a lot of the talent from TNA to go up against talent in NXT, which is like a good rivalry. I'm loving that rivalry between the two. Um, so yeah, that's what I think one of the reasons why they did it was so that way they can have more blockbuster matches or like fulfill our what ifs. What if this wrestler took on this wrestler? Now we don't have to wait for one to jump ship.
And this would have probably never happened under
Oh
Vince.
hell no, Vince is
No,
yeah, Vince would not.
what's it called? And another guy, I think the next person that they're gonna sign is dude, what's his name? The Puerto Rican dude? Oh, yeah, Santana.
Santana, Mike Santana. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably going to be the next caller from TNA.
Oh, dude, that guy, he is incredible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Are you sure your brother doesn't want to join in on the chat, Gil? I hear him in the background a little bit.
My brother and my daughter are in the background.
they're
okay, yeah, put him
they're
in,
definitely
man.
on the mic, man. They don't.
Talk.
They're there. They're already involved in the podcast. That's all I gotta do
Yeah.
is just be on the mic, heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely
just
jump
throw
in.
him on the mic.
But yeah, Gene, just just answer your question. I think that's the reason why they did that. And honestly, if it was even if let's say Vince was willing to do a partnership with TNA, you know how he would have done it, and that's WWE NXT always goes over. He would not let TNA. What happened? Where of course TNA took the brunt of it when the TNA title was won by an NXT challenger. I mean, Vince would never let it go the other way, where NXT title was won by a TNA talent.
And so far, that hasn't happened. By the way, only NXT talents have won TNA belts, but it hasn't been the other way around, where TNA wrestlers have won.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But like recently, most notably, like Kalani
I thought the Hardys had the NXT championship.
Yeah, but they won. But they're that's right. They did. No. They were they were title for title TNA tag team championships, and they won the NXT title.
Were they?
Because they're double belt champions.
Are they the current NXT tag champions right now? I need to look at that.
They were transitional.
Yeah, it was just that's the thing. It happened so fast that it was just a quick loss. But okay, but like a main title, like the women's and men's.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen that.
Yeah, we haven't seen like a woman win from TNA win the NXT Women's Championship and vice versa. But like we've seen it the other way around. But what I like about this relationship is that we're getting to see wrestlers that we typically aren't able to see, right? Like Leon Slater, for instance, right? Joe Hendry, who is now in WWE. Joe Hendry is signed to WWE, so he's no longer part of the TNA umbrella. But I disagree with Gene. Sorry, Gene, I'm going to throw you under the bus here. You're my dog, bro. But I disagree that the rest of the card was bad. I know you made a comment saying that that the rest of the show was horrible. The show was great, man. I don't know what show you were watching. Maybe you were watching a rerun of Collision over here. But I enjoyed the show, man. I enjoyed Cody versus Oba,
That was a
even though
good match.
the ending kind of sucked. Right, it was a great match. Again, the tag match with Leon Slater and AJ Styles could have gotten a little bit longer. I think that match was a little bit short. Sol Ruka versus Bailey. I think Sol Ruka has already proven herself, against a longtime veteran like Bailey, right? And the main event, right? I don't think Cena losing, hurt his legacy in any way. A lot of people were upset. Why did John Cena win, right? But it doesn't hurt his legacy in any way. We had 36 dates, guys. We have to remember that, right? It wasn't going to be perfect.
I like to point out some fun things of like John Cena last night. That was just, I don't know. Me and my daughter were at the edge of our seats, and it's only for several reasons, right? Like Gil over there pointed out, John Cena's facial expression when he tapped to Gunther's sleeper hold, right? Obviously, they can use that to kind of just like do a play on it, right? Obviously, Gunther's gonna like come out, cut a promo, have heat on him. Somebody, whatever talent decides to like, pop into a storyline with Gunther is going to kind of like throw that there to try to like, not make Gunther's win legitimate. But you also got like, what also kind of like freaked me out about last night was when CM Punk and Cody Rhodes put the belt on John. Just I figure it's a last hurrah for us, but before it even happened, my daughter and I were wondering, what was this a ruse? Like, because my daughter, she likes John Cena, and she said that he's retired, so she was thinking that maybe he turned heel in the beginning of the year, lost the belt to Cody to pretend to be face for this, right? Like it was just he knew for some reason that Punk and Rhodes were gonna put the belt on him, and I'm looking at her like, no, I don't think he's gonna turn heel. But then he made that heel face expression like what he did when he was a heel, and he would give them the hug before he like kicked them in the nuts. He'd have that look, and he had that look when he had both belts on his shoulder. I was like, I don't know, maybe.
No,
I was like, but see, that's like that's the great thing about it with John Cena. You know what I mean? Like he can throw those little things in there, like the wink before the Super AA. He gave that little wink. I mean, there were just little things here and there, facial expression when he tapped out. Just all those things just kept me and my daughter at the edge of our seats. Being a wrestling fan, being immersed in the stories, we feel it in our homes, and so I, for a moment, had a moment thinking that this was all a ruse, but then it was like snap back to reality. Like, no, he really is, for various reasons besides acting career and stuff like that. Health wise, also plays a factor in it. So, but anyways, last night the match card that was at hand, the only bone I would pick, and even though it was a great match in my opinion, but Sol Ruka and Bailey, there was only one part from Bailey's end where for the spot she kind of
I'd let them pick my bone.
she kind of I kind of felt like some of the spots that she did were already telegraphed. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was just because so much emotions were clashing that night, and so their level of focus in the ring wasn't like 100%. But like that cartwheel DDT, I mean that spot, Bailey came in a little too early, so you kind of any fan could have telegraphed that coming.
You know what I think happened in that match in particular? They probably got told 2 minutes before they were to start their entrances, "Hey, we got to cut your match."
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
I think that happened. That happens all the time. And I think that's what happened. I think their timing got thrown off a little bit, but it was still a good match to me.
Yeah.
And I think the finish was great.
Oh, the finish was great. I have no problem with that. But like, with those matches, I mean, it would be foolish to say that these guys are so professional that they never let emotions get involved in that moment. And I can say, with 100% confidence that a lot of the wrestlers that put on last night weren't 100% focused on their match because again, this was Cena's night. So, everybody had to make sure they didn't hurt somebody. And I think that was like the more oversought thing was protecting each other in the ring so that way they can be there for the celebration. Because the matches were like they're not of super significance. It's not like Oba Femi and Cody Rhodes was like title for title type thing. Otherwise that would have probably been even. And just imagine if that was the stakes, how much higher would that match have been? These were just matches to just give the fans a great night, not to like overshadow Cena and Gunther's match, and to at the end of the day celebrate. That's what it was, and a great vignette that was cut right after. I thought that was pretty cool how they did that. Plus the way that Cena took his shoes, his wristbands, his armband off, placed it in the ring, and he walked out the ring on his own terms. That was a great way to.
I'm glad he didn't take his pants off.
Oh my god, yeah.
The jorts. A lot of people were saying take off the jorts. I was like, oh my god.
Like, come on, y'all.
We won't see Cena in jorts anymore after last night. So.
Well, some of those fans, I mean, shoot, they finally got a heel John Cena. They probably thought they can take it further.
I know. I think that's one takeaway that we got from the year is that a lot of people had wanted to see John Cena turn heel for so long, and when he finally did, people were complaining about it. It's like, bro, like,
well, I think I complained too. It was bullshit.
Yeah.
It was a bullshit. It was a fucking bullshit. You could have went so many ways with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it was his retirement tour. I don't think he was really invested in doing like the heel 100%. I mean, there's a YouTuber who actually was a little bummed out that Cena turned heel because his YouTube channel is based on it. Like he uses the 2K games to create videos where you kind of follow it as if you're watching Monday Night Raw. And yeah, they were a little bit stupid in a sense. Like they made John Cena the leader of the NWO, and then he had people join his faction. It was all done through the video game and editing and creating story. But at the end of the
I need to see that.
At the end of the day, the channel got so huge because John Cena was heel. The entire catalog of this guy's YouTube videos was all based on the premise of Cena being a heel, getting the title from WWE, and then winning both the Raw and the WWE Heavyweight Championship, and then what the hell was the name of that title before they brought back the World Heavyweight title? What the hell was it? Universal. So they made Cena win both belts, and then he unified them, and then they changed the sprite of the belt and made it all gold strap, gold plating. I'm like, wow, that's weird. And then he went to TNA, he dominated there, took the X Division title, the TNA title. He went to New Japan Pro, he went to Ring of Honor, and the dude was so good at taking the game's graphics, editing it, and making videos out of it. John comes out with 10 belts with his factory.
I'm gonna need you to send me that channel. I'm gonna check.
Yeah, when I find the channel, I'll post it on Sessions for you guys. You guys can go check it out. But it only grew to I think it's a couple 100,000 to 1 million subscribers, only because everything was based on what if John Cena was a heel. And so that dude even I gotta find the video and I'll share it with you guys. But he even commented about John Cena's final tour. I mean, he turned heel. He was the moment he turned heel, his channel lost viewership because fans were seeing the real thing. And I'm like, well, fans are going to be going back to your channel, bro, because John Cena's retired. So now you can even do what ifs. John Cena's
comes out of retirement.
Yeah. Who knows? But it was a cool channel. And he even changed up John Cena's intro and kind of did a mashup between his My Time Is Now and the NWO theme. It was so crazy.
Yeah, I'm watching a video right now where it looks like Gunther was getting some nasty heat after the match, after when he was walking to his bus or something like that. What the hell is going on? Hopefully he had security escorting him or something, because it didn't look fun, for sure. They were. So yeah, Monday's gonna be interesting, man. All I can say is what John Cena said is, people are gonna forget him. I mean, they're not gonna forget him. You can't forget.
It's the last time we're gonna see him. He'll appear in a couple of years from now to cut a promo and kind of help elevate a young. It's what the legends do. They always make a comeback appearance once every year, twice every year. We'll see him again. He just won't be grinding hard in ring, competing and trying to take titles and make them relevant. Yeah, we won't see that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So now that we kind of talked about that, I want to ask you guys a set of questions here, right? Okay. We can start with either one, right? Who was your favorite John Cena feud out of all the feuds that he had throughout the years?
I'll give it to Gil to go first.
Oh shit! I'm thinking, man.
All
Probably
right.
Edge.
Yeah. I was gonna say I love him versus CM Punk, right? But I think him versus Edge kind of got a little more on the real side for me because Edge was just such a good heel back then, right? My favorite, one of my favorite moments was actually seeing John Cena get cashed in on, right,
Mhm.
at the Elimination Chamber, right? When Cena wins that gruesome Elimination Chamber match where I think he was the first guy in and he was the last guy out of that match. But Edge comes out, with Vince McMahon at the end of that match, and he gives him the briefcase. He goes in and he does his thing, and I believe that was Edge's first championship. Also, correct me if I'm wrong on that, everybody. But yeah, that was Edge's
Yeah.
first WWE championship or World Heavyweight title win.
Yeah, one of his major title holds. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was.
so I was just like, oh my god, like I remember watching that match because I was this was the pre WWE Network era where you actually had to either order the pay per view or find a venue that was showing that match, and up until that point, I think again this was mid 2000s or whatever. I went to a local bar. I think it was like a Buffalo Wild Wings when they would show it at at the actual place. And me and my buddies would go, and you would have to pay like a deposit or whatever just to sit there and watch the match. But man, I remember sitting there and dude, the freaking the whole place was full, and everyone was going nuts when the Edge came out. Man, I was like tripping out. I was like we were screaming along with everybody else. Edge cashes in, he wins the title, and it was just crazy to see that happen, right? Um, so even though John Cena lost that match, right, or he won the Elimination Chamber, he lost the title that night, right? It's like one of those memories that kind of just sticks out in my head because obviously, Edge could have cashed in on whoever was the world champion at the time, which I think was Batista. I'm not 100% sure. But still, just an interesting memory. Did you got okay? So who do you guys got? Like, who is your favorite? Feud with John Cena.
Did Go yet?
Yeah.
No, he was.
Oh, he did.
Oh yeah, he said
Oh.
Edge. Yeah, he said Edge.
Um,
What about you?
Okay, so memorable match. I'll go memorable match and then a feud. Memorable match that I liked with John Cena involved in it was the ECW One Night Only where RVD
Yeah,
beat him
yeah.
for the title.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that pass down and bringing RVD up and then bringing back the ECW Heavyweight Championship. And RVD's like, I can pull it off and be dual champion. For feud, probably cliche answer, Cena and Lesnar. I think Cena's his even though he only has like the 5 moves to, but like the way that they carried on between him and Lesnar, I thought was really good. It felt like an organic beef between the two, and then obviously when fans were like losing their minds when they brawled in the ring, and obviously Cena's mouth was busted when he took a shot. Yeah, to me that would just be my favorite. And just to kind of point out, we got somebody who said Randy Orton and Cena as their
That's a good.
Yeah,
that's
I
a
was
good
gonna
one.
say no. That's another
My follow-up-
notable Randy Orton and Cena
My-
rivalry was great.
If I had to pick a second one, it'd be Kurt Angle
Mm.
because
Kurt
that was
Angle.
just comedy gold.
Oh yeah, Kurt Angle, man, I miss him. I don't know if anyone else does, but
I'm glad he was there. I'm glad he was there last night for his final
yeah,
match. By the way.
I mean, it meant something. Obviously, John was first really recognized by the fans when he came out and accepted Angle's challenge. But Angle, like lately, Kurt Angle's YouTube shorts have been popping up on my YouTube feed, and it was funny because my wife kind of like spit out her drink. I was watching the segment where he was talking to Rey Mysterio, and he's like, "You're a boy in a man's world," and I'm a man, and I like to play with little boys. And he's like, "Wait a minute."
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I remember that backstage.
Kurt Angle, I
promo.
like him. He's good with the business, man. Like, I mean, TNA, super serious, conniving little weasel from time to time. WWE, I mean, super comical, and like he can carry both those so well. So, but I mean, we're not talking about Kurt Angle today.
It's crazy. I know, but just going back to the Kurt Angle thing really quick. It's crazy that he was actually in TNA longer than his WWE run.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And his career was about as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, on both ends. He won 6 WWE championships in WWE.
And then look at his
Which is
accolades in
crazy to
TNA.
believe, man. Yeah, also, man.
He did what he
So
said he was going to do. Like I remember his promo cut in TNA before he showed up, where he took the belt back from Samoa Joe, and one of the things that he mentioned in his promo cut, where he said that Vince is pretty much like referred to him like a 10-cent cup of coffee. So he was going to show Vince what he could do, and I think he made that point very clear. He stuck it to Vince. Kurt Angle and TNA, man, dang,
yeah.
whew, those are some good ones.
Yeah, I guess another notable for me would be like John Cena. As far as the match goes, would be John Cena versus CM Punk for SummerSlam. I guess when CM Punk was kind of trolling that he was going to leave the
Oh yeah.
company, right, with the belt, right, and John Cena had a interim championship belt that he had won. And then, of course, they set up that match. That was actually one of John Cena's only 5-star matches, by the way.
Yeah,
So,
but it kind of sucked though because like
yeah,
when Ray won the title, I was mad, but he accepted
yeah, I hate that they pulled the belt
the
off of
challenge
Ray
and
also.
lost it to him the same night. Like, damn, man, that sucks.
Yeah,
But no, yeah, very good one. I would say another rivalry side would be Cena and CM Punk too. I would go along with you guys on that one. I thought the chemistry between those two were pretty good, especially in the days where Punk was making Vince apologize. Oh God, I love that
oh
promo.
man,
It's like you will apologize, but the things that he said, and I can see why CM Punk got a little emotional yesterday. Because eventually it's gonna be CM Punk's turn too. Like I think that's something that people have to see. Like with Cena stepping away in retirement, it's the writing on the wall that's gonna say, now we got to look at CM Punk and his retirement, AJ and his retirement, and even the Miz. Like
yeah,
that little short scene that he did last night. I thought, I mean, yeah, it was a
mhm,
little extra. Maybe they needed more time to get set, but it to me it made sense when the Miz came out talking about how he beat John Cena and he was wearing the ring gear that night at WrestleMania where he beat
yeah,
him. And it was like, oh, it was a perfect way to do it. And then Ron Cena comes out. Joe Hendry appears. They do the 5 knuckle shuffle and everything. It was such a good thing. Like Miz, to me, till today, is still one of those wrestlers in WWE that's like everyone overlooks him. I mean, he has his moments, and I think fans really gravitate
yeah,
towards that when he's a face, but when he's a heel, like a lot of fans kind of overlook him
yeah.
and forget just how good he is on the mic and in the ring. Um, so I'm gonna be sad when those guys do their retirement. It's gonna suck, in my opinion. Even though there's this great new talent coming up, and I'm not taking anything away from the new talent, I'm still gonna miss those guys because again, that's really wrestlers that I grew up watching. Like I was around during the Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Mr. Perfect, those days, right? I was much younger back then, wasn't really invested in wrestling as when the Attitude Era began. And so a lot of these guys are coming in from the Attitude Era or after, and watching them all those years. So then who really picks up the slack and carries the company the way that Cena does? And that's my question to you guys: is who you think can fill those shoes and carry the company now?
Go first, Mike.
Well, I think even Cena has said it that Roman Reigns is the guy right now, right? You might disagree with that, but if you look at numbers, right, especially during the pre-COVID era and post-COVID era, right? WWE stock was at like $17 a share, and now that it's with TKO, it's over $200 a share, and that's
But I feel
most
like
people
he's on his way out the door.
Roman Reigns was the top guy. I don't think so. I definitely
You don't think
disagree with
his
that. I think
leukemia plays a role in it?
yeah.
That
Well, if he's sick, then that's one thing, right? If he has to leave because of his health, then that's one thing. A lot of people are thinking, oh, he's going to be the next, Cena, and he's going to leave because of acting and whatnot. But I don't think that's going to happen just yet. I think Roman Reigns has at least a good 3 to 5 years left on, in him in the company. So I think that they're still going to use him as kind of like a top tier guy. Over the next couple of years, it could be a couple of different guys, though. It could be guys like Gunther. I hate to say it, right? Even guys like Logan Paul, right? The famous
well, no,
YouTubers
I'm
over
kind of
here. But
changing my opinion
honestly,
on Logan Paul, honestly.
yeah,
But we'll get to that later.
it's getting different. We can talk about that later. But also, guys like Braun Breaker, right, who are still, still haven't. I mean, he had an IC title, hasn't really done anything since then, right?
He
But
needs more work.
they're putting more eyes. They're putting more eyes on the younger talent, right? WWE is in a weird a transitioning phase right
Yeah.
now, where it's kind of like the 2013 to 2015 era, where all those NXT guys, people that are top guys now, right, were coming in and they were getting mixed in with a lot of the veteran wrestlers at the time.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now. We're gonna see a lot of new faces in 2026. But for me, again, right now, again, the guys that will be carrying the company, going forward, at least the next, 2 to 5 years, will be, the Roman Reigns, the Cody Rhodeses, the CM Punks, and of course, obviously Gunther and the new faces like Braun Breaker and even guys like Bronson Reed. I mean, you can't leave him out, right? But again, it's going to be a mix. We're going to see a mix of old and new talent that are going to be, butting heads. I think it's going to be an interesting watch.
You know what I think? I don't think like Roman is a okay answer, but I don't think he'll be there much longer either because he's been there a while too.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree and disagree with both points on both sides.
Yeah.
I think that whoever is going to be the guy to really like be the next megastar is probably not even in WWE right now.
Interesting. So they're not even in the door yet. They're like probably training like at one of the schools.
Is there someone that you've been keeping your eye on that we can say, hey, maybe this guy is going to be, in WWE in the future?
Honestly, bro, like Mike Santana.
Mike Santana?
Okay.
Yeah, like
I can see that.
Watch his stuff.
I don't disagree.
Especially when he came into NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that guy, I think he'll connect with a lot of people. I think he's a good candidate.
Okay. I'm not saying no to that.
I can see that. I got an off the wall answer to that. It comes in 2 parts. James Ellsworth.
Okay.
That's just a joke. I'm just kidding.
Imagine if he comes in and he beats AJ Styles for his last match. I would be laughing so hard. Because guess what? He has three wins.
He has to be there for AJ's retirement. But I think honestly,
from what I heard,
a future candidate to kind of like carry the company the way Cena did. If he sticks to it and doesn't make any dumb decisions like some talent have done in the past, I do see that there's I want to say like a good 50% chance Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
I really enjoy like the way that he's working, not only in the ring but with the crowd. He just has that. He has it. He's one of the few who has won a title in his heel persona that has gotten the backing of fans just right up there. I mean, and he stays and he's good at it. Like he's got it. Obviously, his dad, Rey Mysterio, for a fact coached him. Eddie Guerrero coached him at a young age. He has influence. Edge coached him. So he's got a lot of it. Yeah.
His steel edge.
He's got a lot of great psychology already. Now it's just going forward with it. Like he just has to watch out for the landmines. Don't get too caught up, in the limelight and make stupid decisions or, even though they're Stone Cold fans, you still got to remember there was at some point where Stone Cold would take his ball and go home because he didn't get his way. So when talent doesn't get over cocky, works with the business, grows with it, helps put talent over, not just bury them.
No, but okay, hold on, bro. Hold on, just 1 minute.
Oh shit!
Stone Cold only did that because the story didn't make sense.
He still did it.
Yeah, but it wasn't like Hogan where, you know what I mean? Where it was like, oh no, no, brother, that doesn't work for me.
This is why you need a soundboard, Mike. Because no, seriously, because this was like perfect. It triggered him. He came into it. You had to if you had a soundboard, you could have done one of those little air horn things, like shots fired, or something. Eventually, we'll have something like that set up for the fans watching right now. We'll have that set up in the future, and we'll be able to be.
Because I'm on Restream. I wish Restream had like a little sounds tab that you can just click when something.
If you actually connect OBS to Restream, and you can use a soundboard on OBS.
Yeah,
but,
that's like thing. I don't want to get
we would have to figure all that stuff out. But no,
I would just buy a Steam Deck or something.
I figured that would trigger Mr. Heyman over here. That was the whole point. But he didn't take his ball and go home like Hulk Hogan did. Like Hulk Hogan, it's such a tough spot with Hogan because of the way that he carried himself behind the scenes. If a lot of people were to like look up to see people's perception of Hulk Hogan backstage, I mean, you would hear a lot of shoots on him. Even the Ultimate Warrior had things to say, which is funny because Warrior was no better. But no, he wasn't like Hulk Hogan. But still, that's the point I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
mean,
It's
you
like,
got to remember that the Warrior didn't really come up in like as a wrestling fan.
yeah, oh yeah, I know. Like I was, what was it? I was one of those guys who, when I grew up as a kid watching The Ultimate Warrior, like I was like fascinated by the character, um, getting more deeper into wrestling and then like listening to things that he said, how he acted, and even the way that he ran in WCW was just like a very very big letdown. Like this was the guy that like I grew up idolizing, when I was 6 years old, and it was sad. But nonetheless, I mean, there were some good points that Warrior had. Same with Hogan. Um, but that's just what I mean by like with Dominic Mysterio, which I think it won't be that way for him. So I'm just looking forward to seeing it because you have Dominic Mysterio, you have Logan Paul, who honestly I'm starting to get on his side as like believing that he's really about the business and not just there just to like have another influencer stunt to say I was a wrestler at one time. Like I'm really believing that this is his calling, what he really wants to do. I can't say the same for his brother in boxing, but I can say for him, he's starting to win me over as a fan. So I will see.
Yeah, I mean, it's never been about the wrestling for me. It's just his character in general, right? But now that he's with the Vision, I guess we'll see what happens
He's a Paul Heyman guy.
with his character development because he's in there with again two guys that are also hungry for singles, gold, and not just that, but attention, right? They want to be the top guy. I think everybody wants to be the top guy.
I think there'll be some great feuds between the three of them. Like there's just like things that I can see in the future happening. I can definitely see Braun Breaker and Logan Paul at like SummerSlam or even WrestleMania if they're going for a singles title. Like yeah, exactly what you said. They're all fighting for that top spot, which is like how it pretty much is, right? Within WWE, they usually group factions together that they can make potential storylines later in the future and rivalries.
Yeah.
So even like Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, and them, they can do something with them. They can do something with Dominic and Logan, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Like there's the possibilities. We can see that coming a mile away, and I think the future is pretty bright when it comes to it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting next couple of years. I mean, I'm definitely interested to see what 2026 has to bring with the WWE and its collaboration with TNA also. But okay, guys, I did want to ask another question with since we're still on the topic of John Cena, right? We're going to talk fantasy booking here, guys. Okay, so John Cena obviously is a WWE guy through and through. Who would you have liked to see John Cena wrestle against? From his beginning of his career to the end in a separate promotion, right? Whether it be TNA, New Japan, even currently AEW, because AEW has been a thing for the last 6 years, right? So, who would you have liked to see John Cena face against as far as one of their top guys in the business?
Go.
MJF.
MJF, damn it.
Yeah.
He said the same thing I was going to say. I'm like holding my back.
That's a good one. I actually didn't think about MJF.
Then Powerhouse Hobbs.
Ooh, I didn't think of that one.
Yeah, because I think that Cena's good at putting mid-card talent guys like that over to an extent. I think that would be great for him.
Who wins?
Yeah.
If you had to call it, who wins?
Oh, you know who wins.
What? Right. The fans don't say it.
Cena.
Yeah. But only for the first 5 matches, and then Powerhouse Hobbs gets the win after that.
Just like Rusev. Beat him the first time and then lose the next 6 matches. Same thing with Owens. Right. Beat him once and lose the next 6 matches.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with those picks. I agree with those picks. MJF for sure, definitely. I think a feud with MJF would have been spectacular, only because MJF is good on the mic. Obviously, I don't care what people say.
The promos.
He held his own against CM Punk on the stick, And I
Yeah.
don't care what any other fan can say. Oh yeah, CM Punk cooked him.
Yeah.
No. If you didn't pay attention to that promo that went back and forth between them, you missed a great moment. MJF.
Yeah, that was peak. That was peak AEW, by the
Yeah.
way, and anyone can argue with me about that. I mean, they're getting better. Like, I'll say something about AEW. They're getting better. Like the last 6 months of this year have been more interesting to watch than the last couple of years.
How's their injury list
But
looking?
I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say.
Are you
I
sure
don't really
they're
follow
injured
that
and not just
anymore.
sitting at home?
Well, Swerve came back, so Swerve is back off the injured reserve, but I believe Will Ospreay is still injured. Currently, he's still on the shelf, but I mean, yeah,
That's
some of
another
them can just
guy
be
that
at
could
home.
carry WWE.
Yeah, who Swerve or Will Ospreay?
Both.
Yeah, but you know, I
They'd
don't
have to
think
bring
Swerve is
Swerve
in place
back.
to come back. Yeah. But okay, so the match for me, guys, I'm not going to name either of those guys, would have probably been John Cena versus Kenny Omega when Kenny Omega was not pre his diverticulitis, right? When he was like, you know, late New Japan, early AEW days when he was actually still putting on like, you know, those banger matches from AEW. I'm trying to think of like as far as New Japan, I would have liked to see Cena versus Okada, right? When Okada was the top guy there.
Okay.
Bro, what the hell
TNA
happened to Okada?
I don't know.
No comment, and no comment on what's
Goodness,
currently going on.
bitch.
He's the current international champion right now. What's happening with him is the Continental title thing is going on, or the tournament's going on. But if he wins the Continental tournament again, then they fuse the title back together. I don't know how the fuck that's.
I got a question for you, Mike, since it's based on your picks. So
Okay.
my question to you, just being a wrestling fan, who do you think would have pulled off if there was a 6-star match? Who do you think would have achieved it with Cena? Would it have been AJ Styles versus Cena or Kenny Omega versus Cena?
Kenny, just because.
Yeah.
Just because.
Thank
You
God.
know, what's his name? Meltzer has been teabagged by him.
I know, and a lot of other guys from the AEW umbrella, including Tony Khan. But no, I probably would have liked to see John Cena and Kenny Omega go have that 6 or 7-star match, right? I love the AJ Styles feud. I know we didn't mention it earlier, right? But John Cena had a fucking great feud with AJ Styles and great matches, right? And that was another 5-star match that John Cena had over the last couple of years, right? Was him versus AJ Styles. But I think why it didn't do it for me, him versus AJ Styles, it was more towards the end of their careers rather than in their primes, right? Still great matches. Though.
Oh yeah.
It's a feud, but yeah, I think John Cena versus Kenny Omega would have did it for me as far as like the star ratings and whatnot, man. I think like that would have been maybe not a great feud on the mic, right? Because still at the time, I don't think Kenny Omega would have been like the guy on the mic. I think it would have been.
Oh, I just mean in ring. Like
yeah.
I'm not
in ring wise, you know, it would have been a fucking banger match, honestly.
It's a cool thing that you brought up the whole AJ thing, because I think a lot of people kind of like forget to appreciate that rivalry because it did bring out more moves for Cena to do besides his 5 moves of doom. Yeah. I mean, we started seeing him do, and I'm gonna call it because I like Roxanne Perez, but he started popping out the pop rocks.
The pop rocks, oh yeah.
They're doing a lot of those things.
Destroyer. What about? Did we talk about AJ and Dragon Lee's match at all?
We didn't touch deeply into it, but we did bring it up. If you want to go into that, yeah, sure, dude.
I mean, we all saw the one botch that happened.
I think that match was too over choreographed.
Yeah.
It was just a matchup where people got a chance to do moves. I'm not saying it was bad, but it was just too much for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think
actually for the title.
No, I think it was just a tag match. Or was it for the tag championships?
It was.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, come on, bro. Who's gonna do a Swanton 450 splash in a real fight? Who's gonna do a Soul Taker?
That's his
or
move.
Soul Ruka, Soul DDT, whatever the hell it's called in a real fight, man.
Yeah.
Unless you're Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I don't think they were gonna drop, the WWE World Tag Team Championships.
I'll say one thing about that match, though. It's really showcasing what Javon Evans can do because he was the one that had like the best spots in that match, man. And I know he's already wrestled a couple matches on the main roster, but I'm positive he's gonna get his call up in 2026. You know what I mean? Like there's no way that he stays in NXT much longer, just because of how like the guy's young. He's only 21 years old. Look at how polished in the ring he is at his age. It's ridiculous.
I think
Like,
that's why they do stuff like this. I mean, I don't know. I'm just probably reaching here with this little idea, but I think when they do stuff like this, where they bring them into these like high stakes scenarios, it's kind of like watching crowd reaction to see like, okay, do we call them up in 2026? To either Raw or SmackDown. I think that's what they kind of use those things for.
Yeah. But I think what they should do, and this is just my take on it, but I think he should be that fourth man, the one that's been in the black, get up, interfering in all these recent matches, and put him in the Vision. I think turning him heel would be like the best thing for him. That way, when he eventually does go babyface again, like it'll be like one of the biggest babyface runs ever, probably. So. But throw him in the
Question
Vision.
for both you guys. I want your take on this because, like, for me, I don't really like this scenario where the Vision is going and everything. I mean, I just maybe not seeing something, but
yeah.
What do you think they have planned for Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and now the Vision? Since Seth is not part of the Vision, like, what do you think goes? Do you think they flip him back face, keep him heel, and who does he pursue?
Seth's gonna definitely go face again. Seth is going to go face whenever he returns. I mean, I definitely don't know his injury timeline, but if he's back by Mania this coming year, it could turn into something pretty nice where he has possibly a match with either Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed, whoever. Right? I think that's where it's going to lead up to. I don't think there's going to be any type of title stipulations. Right now, let's say Punk loses the title to Braun Breaker. Right? Let's say Punk is a transitional champion. Right? Then I could see Breaker going into Mania as the champion, and Rollins coming back, and who knows, he can win the Elimination Chamber. Maybe he's not back by Rumble, but maybe he comes back by the Elimination Chamber, wins the EC, and then he picks his title, right, which would be Braun Breaker for the World Heavyweight title, right? I think that would be interesting also, but I don't see Punk losing. I don't see Punk losing to Braun Breaker just yet, right? I don't see him losing the title that quickly, just because he, had already lost the title that one night, at SummerSlam or whatever. So yeah, we'll see, man. But I think the whole purpose of these guys is to continue to push the younger talent, right?
Yeah.
And that's where it's going, and that's why I was saying earlier, we're going to see it's going to be an interesting 2026 because we're going to see a lot of the new talent transition over the older talent, which is how it should be, right? And we're going to see that future, then the next set of future generation talents just kill it in 2026.
What about you, Gil?
They're going to kill it.
Honestly, they should just move away Punk completely from that.
From the Vision?
No, like find out who it is that attacked them and costed them the match. But when Rollins comes back, split it. Keep them apart. Although they have spoken, even though they don't like each other in real life, they would team up.
Yeah, I think they would team up professionally.
But other than that, no.
Well, yeah, I mean they can work in the ring together without letting personal feelings get in the way, and like I've seen their matches that they had. I didn't really see anything that I would consider to be like stiff. I didn't see them being that stiff and all that. So yeah, I definitely can see them teaming up together. Do you guys think the masked person is Austin Theory? The rumors that's flying around.
Could be. I don't know, man, because they've done him dirty in the last couple of years, ever since Vince has been gone. So, it's going to be hard to put him in as a baby face, right? I think he was a good heel. I think he's
a good heel. I would like him to stay heel.
He didn't get enough credit for when he was like the U.S. champion, and he can cut a promo, man. That guy can cut a promo, man. I don't think that he's done just yet as far as his character. I think they can turn it into something. They can turn it around. It's not too late to turn it around for Austin Theory. We'll see, man. But like I said, the thing about the Vision is, again, there's so many like top future guys in that group already that it's going to be hard to stand out, right, against a guy like Braun Breaker, against guys like Bronson Reed. So we'll definitely
make for great feuds between them. But that's what I was wondering about it, because I know there's two suspects. One of them I don't think it is. I don't think it's John Moxley. I don't think it's the strings. Those are some great AI videos, but
right.
I don't feel shit, they've made AI videos?
Yeah, those AI videos and John Moxley being with Roman again. Um, honestly, I find it interesting that it could be Austin Theory, and if it is Austin Theory being under Paul Heyman, I think would be a good move for him, at least to be taken serious. One person did mention something on TikTok. I'll share the video with you guys later when I find it again. But they were just talking about that maybe John had picked his successor in the time where he accepted Austin Theory's match and told him what was going to happen, whether he won or lost, how it was going to damage his career. And then even went as far as to bring up that they don't have to pipe in fake crowd noises to for reactions. And someone was pointing out that maybe that's who it is. That's who the master person is. The next person to call up, next person to fill those shoes. I don't know about that part of it, but him being with the Vision, I think would probably be an interesting thing because even then, feuds between Theory and Seth, I think they could make something out of that. That's just my thought. I don't know.
I mean, there is history there with Theory and Seth. You know what I mean? I mean, they were part of the, the Monday Night Messiah crew, I guess, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gil?
I don't even know. I would kind of be disappointed if it was Austin Theory.
Do tell.
How he's been flip flopped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got to look up who's been released in the other companies recently.
So who do you think? Your top three? Your top three? Who
Everywhere.
do you think it is?
You know what? Let me. Who was part of the card of that War Games match? Well, the entire card.
War Games, like as far as who, like we had.
Who are the participants?
On the face side, it was CM Punk. It was Jimmy and Jey Uso. It was
Roman,
and I'm blanking out on the last guy. Is that 4 or 5 guys already? And CM Punk, no, Cody, yes. And then on the other side, it was who the hell? It was Brock Lesnar. It was the Vision, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, Ron Breakker, and who was the last guy on that group? I'm trying to think. Brock Lesnar. It was Brock.
Oh,
Lesnar.
Drew McIntyre.
Oh yeah, Drew McIntyre. Yes.
What if it's Dominic Mysterio?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think it could be Dom?
It could.
A
person was kind of shaped like him.
No, from what I've heard, they've gone with 2 different people in the 2 events that person came out. So I don't think that it is Dom. I think the first one was Austin Theory. I don't think the second guy was a little more like bluff, in my opinion. No.
Well, right now the top choices of the masked person who attacked Punk was Austin Theory, John Moxley, or Randy Orton.
What about Sami Zayn?
No,
you know what? Wolf in sheep's clothing. Hey,
I disagree.
You never know. Like sometimes they like to throw zingers at us, right? Someone that we don't think. Because even one person was saying it was R-Truth, but you never know. You don't know. R-Truth is, he is kind of like shaped, even though he's like for his age.
Yeah, he's in good shape for his age.
Yeah, I don't know. Who has been released from like other promotions recently that is well known?
I mean, I don't know anyone that has been released from AEW or I'm not even looking at New Japan because I really feel like WWE is going to mostly work with TNA as far as released talent goes.
Or about AAA?
AAA, I mean, there's not really anyone that's like over in that company. I think they're trying to get people over with the collab with that also. So I really couldn't say honestly that there was somebody that was released. You know what I mean? I don't think it's someone that's coming in from another company. I think WWE has too much talent under all of their umbrellas that why would they use somebody like like a Kenny Omega or a Young Buck character, a young Cook.
Oh my God, my friend from Hawaii, he just messaged me the answer to that question. It's so stupid. He goes, tomorrow night we'll find out who it is, and as the Masters remove, it turns out to be Tony Khan. What the fuck?
Tony Khan is the fifth.
He's trolling me because I'm asking him because he wants.
That would be hilarious.
That would be, but he's just like, he likes to do that because he likes to like text me and troll me some stuff when it comes to like some of the top storylines that's got so much going for it. So I asked him just a while ago, like, who do you think the masked person is that curb stomped Punk? He's all like, it's Tony Khan.
It was me, Punk. It was me all along. Vince
Oh my
McMahon.
god, that is so bad.
It was Vince McMahon.
Hey, that's a nice one, man. You should throw that out there. If
It
you
was
mess
Vince
around,
Russo.
Vince Russo, that'd be a good one, right? Unmasked.
Make,
Someone's probably gonna like if someone watches this and does AI videos, they're gonna steal our idea and make an AI video that like bonds when Vince revealed himself to be the higher power.
oh my God.
It was me, Punk.
Yeah, no, but for real
No,
though,
my pick is Sami Zayn.
I don't
John
think. Well,
Laurinaitis.
I disagree. John Laurinaitis. I think if it's not somebody
Nikki
that's
Bella.
gonna be WWE, all right, it's Nikki Bella. I think it's gonna be someone from NXT. If I can be 100% honest, I think it's gonna be, it could be a guy like Trick Williams, right? We don't even like people forget about Trick Williams, right? He's pretty much. I feel like Trick Williams is pretty much done with the with NXT branding already. His call up should have already happened. Like,
What else can he do? He's a former NXT champ, former TNA champ.
Exactly. So why not throw a little bit of color into the vision if you know if you know what I mean?
I mean, why not? It's not a bad possibility. That actually would be.
I think that would be a good selection. Trick Williams.
It's fresh. It's fresh. It's someone that CM Punk's not really dealt with. So it's not like we're gonna see the same holds, the same moves, the same spots. We're gonna see something very different, and it's pretty much putting Punk to the test. At his age, against someone who's younger, faster. So doubt. And if Punk takes a loss to him, it's not going to be detrimental. I mean, you got to take losses to the younger talent who's much faster than you and much stronger than you. Obviously, they're not as beat up as you are from the years of what you put in. So yeah, I think that would be a good option. It's better than a lot of these AI generated videos that I have fun watching and laughing at. And one of them was AJ Lee. It was his own wife. Like come on, man. Friggin' broad shoulder built person, and then you remove the mask. AI cuts it down to a very tiny AJ Lee. Like, come on. But that was funny. And damn to the person out there who dropped that AI video saying it was Larry, man. That's kind of below the belt because that was Punk's dog, and it just recently passed away. So that's kind of messed up.
Oh yeah. Speaking about Larry, R.I.P. By the way. I found a CM Punk AEW figure at Ross for $4, and the week that it happened, the outfit that CM Punk is wearing is a Larry jacket because it says Larry on it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is so like weird that this is happening. So I bought it. I'll send you guys a picture later.
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to see that.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. I'm not gonna open it, but because I'm like, man, you never know. It might be worth a lot of money one day. But I also was able to.
We have a Cody Rhodes AEW figure. I think we do. I think my brother still has it.
I have a few. I have Soraya, aka Paige. I have Thunder Rosa, CM Punk, and I also have a Bryan Danielson Chase figure that I found for $4, the one out of like 5,000 or whatever. And I have a Sting one that's like a big box though. That's like I think I got on clearance at Walmart for like $20, and they retail for like $45, I think usually. So I was like, oh, I like the Sting one. The Sting one I definitely copped.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll have to send you pictures later. But that's one thing I will say that the AEW does better is their figures over WWE.
Yep. I mean, yeah, I'll agree with that. I see their stuff in like shops and stuff like that. The details and stuff are a lot nicer.
Yeah.
How's this, man? The friggin' spinner title is selling out.
Oh my god, I had one and I sold it a couple years back, dude.
How did you do that?
Because I needed money, basically, and I had like it was during a transition where I was like moving from like my apartment back into my my family home. And I didn't have space, basically, so I had to, make some decisions, and I ended up selling it. I sold it to a local guy that I was friends with, so it's not like I just sold it to whoever. I sold it to a guy that was like a local belt collector. So.
All right. Well, we'll get a couple of ski masks and Mission Impossible where his house is.
No, he doesn't have it anymore, man. The guy got married and sold it. Yeah, so I asked him, I was like, "Hey, do you still have the belt?" He's like, "No, brother, I sold it." I was like, "Motherfucker, I was gonna buy it back."
All right, we'll take a trip to your neck of the woods. We'll bring tables, chairs, and ladders, and we'll go pay a visit at his door.
Right,
That deserves a table, like
for real, man. But
because they're selling out, man. Like someone what was it? I was looking over here on Offer Up here in Phoenix. I'll screenshot it if they're still up there or if they sold out. But there are people that have the spinner titles and they're price gouging the hell out of it after
yeah,
last night. We're talking like one person had his like the deluxe replica
yeah.
for like almost
I mean,
2,000.
I don't have a lot of John Cena memorabilia. I do have a Funko Pop where he's dressed up like in his Doctor of Thugonomics outfit or whatever. I think something
Word
like that.
life.
Yeah, I think he's wearing that one. But I did have a few Cena Funkos over the years, and I sold them off. But I kept one, so I'll hold on to that, man. Like that, that'll be like the one Cena thing that I do own.
Mhm.
You know,
You ever go to a Comic Con and he happens to show up or something, man? Get it autographed.
He's done local ones like in North Texas, but he's never been like south of like Houston, basically, as far because he did a Houston one like last year, I believe. And I told I think I told my sister, I was like, you need to go to it, like go meet John Cena, but they didn't end up going for whatever reason. So it is what it is. I mean, if he ever comes and I'm over there, for a family event or whatever, then I'll definitely try to get something done.
Yeah, or if he ever goes back to one in North Texas and you got a friend, man, just before the event happens, like ship them the Funko Pop and have them get it signed, ship it back to you. Someone
Yeah,
you trust.
I would
Uh,
love that.
I wouldn't just do it like any friend, that friend might have a hard time letting go of it after it gets signed. It's like, where's my Funko Pop? I left it at the event, man. Sorry, I lost it. Like, and it's sitting in the room, autographed, all nice and tucked away. But
Yeah,
yeah, it
I
was.
really want to get signatures on items though. If I can just get a picture, I'd be happy with a picture though.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of
Yeah.
time to do it. But like overall, man, a page in WWE history has turned. That's something that now it's like the time for people to start really watching and start having your picks of like who your top guys are going into the next 20 years. Because yeah, a lot of these guys they're going away. They're some are around just helping the younger guys come up, pave the way for them. So that's really what, like you said, we're in that transitional period. So that's really what we got now going with WWE, and there's partnerships with TNA and everything just makes it a lot more interesting to see who really gets called up to that front. As far as the fans that are upset, shouting BS and stuff like that, like I know emotions run high, but at the end of the day, they're gonna make what they feel like is the right call. Gunther going over is a
Hmm.
pretty good call in my opinion. It just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Put the heat on him because they don't really have a good heel.
Yeah.
I mean, Seth was on his way to doing that before he like destroyed his shoulder.
Again, unfortunately.
But other than that, they don't have anybody. Like I'm waiting for someone to be that heel factor that can fill the shoes of Triple H. And how Triple H was here for such a long time, or
that's
Edge.
that's that's an interesting, yeah, because I mean, Triple H and Edge were great heels, man.
They
But
were. I
yeah,
like the
I think
veterans too.
yeah, the one thing I do like about Gunther is like I feel like he's just a heel that pisses you off by his words, not his actions, right? I mean, yeah, he'll go and beat you up like after a match or whatever, but he doesn't like resort to like using weapons or outside interference. He just he kills you with his words and his fist basically and his chokeholds, right? He wants to show people, hey, I'm better than you, and I don't really have to resort to all these dirty tactics to do it, right? Unlike other heels, right? Like poking of the eyes. He doesn't do shit like that in his matches,
Yeah, no, he
man.
doesn't. Say hello
Yeah.
to Becky, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Becky, oh yeah, I'm seeing the chats. Hey, how's it going, Becky? Thanks for joining in. We are talking about the Cena retirement tour here, so thanks for joining in. I don't know if anyone you guys know about specifically, or just someone new to the channel, hopefully.
No, I don't know, man. Because I see that we're over 100 subscribers now. So thank you guys for putting in the work and helping us grow. Appreciate it. But I just don't know if you recognize the name or whatnot. Because
Yeah,
I know we have. Again, like we say it in every podcast. Like a lot of us are busy. We got stuff going on in our life, so it's very hard for us, for the three of us, get
yeah,
together and just go all out like this. I'm having a lot of fun, and
yeah.
yeah, it's tough because I wish we can like do this like once a week or every other day. Don't start with that. Start
Should I
with.
delete that? Should I delete that comment?
Nah, you can leave it in. This is your one. This is your one warning.
This must be a what do you call it? A Gen Alpha over here. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I've
Oh,
been having fun with you
yeah.
guys, but hopefully, we can definitely start to do more streams. I would like to stream once a week with you all, but I know everyone's schedules can be wonky at times, right? But I mean, you do have access to the channel still, Tito, hopefully, so you can go live on it whenever you don't. If I'm not available, you can go live
Yeah,
on it
but
whenever you
it's a
want.
better dynamic when it's the
Post a
three of us on
video.
here.
Yeah, or
You
if
know?
you just want to do like a short, 5 to 10 minute video, just like a hot take video, like about whatever happens, upload it, right? And you never know, I might go and respond to that video, right? we might do a, oh, my name is Speed. I don't know who Speed is. Is that a wrestler? Becky Cadle. It looks like a young person from the picture, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and if they're
Yeah.
saying they're Speed, like you remember Speed and Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw
Interesting.
that video, the I Show Speed or whatever, but he
Yeah,
actually did some training with Randy Orton, I believe. They showed
yeah,
like
that was
a
I
video
thought that
about
was
it.
pretty cool.
So a little respect goes out to I Show Speed because man, he knows how to sell. He knows how to sell in the
Yeah,
ring. You know
yeah,
what
he's
I mean?
pretty good.
But you could tell he was really feeling pain in there, man. And the guy's athletic. You never know. He might be one of those next influencers that moves over from the YouTube game to the actual WWE if that ever happens, right?
Right.
So
Which
we'll
I hope it
see.
doesn't.
What was that again?
Which I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a different era, man. Unfortunately, social media influencers have a lot of eyes, and nowadays, right? Maybe it might not happen a lot, but I definitely can see it happening a few more times over the next couple of years. So
Yeah.
yeah, Becky saw it. Becky Cadle says, "I saw it. I seen it." There you go.
Cool. Cool.
There you go. There you go. Well, welcome to the channel again. Give us your thoughts on John Cena's
Hey,
retirement.
I got another what if.
All right, what if? Let's go.
What if the masked person who attacked Punk was Xavier Woods?
I wouldn't be upset just because,
Kofi.
I think, yeah, it could be Kobe. I think the New Day is dead. I think they should really just not. I mean, their tag
Push
team is always going
Xavier.
to be. Their
All right,
tag team
guys,
is
I'm gonna
always
go
going
ahead
to
and
be up there.
I gotta go to sleep. I gotta work tonight.
All right, man. You take it easy.
All right,
Thanks
man.
again
Take
for
it
joining
easy.
in. Tell your brother next time to join in. Also, man, we'll get him going.
All right,
The
y'all.
chat.
Take care.
All right, man. Take it easy. So yeah, man. For me, it's okay. I lost my train of thought, but as far as like I think the New Day should disassemble. I think
Yeah.
Xavier should go for a singles run, right? I mean, the guy did win a King of the Ring at one point of his career, right? So why not make him the guy? We know he can talk on the mic, right? I don't think
Yeah.
there's any question about that. I just think that right now WWE does have a lack of black talent that is like main roster talent that is over, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he could be the next major African American black, whatever you want to call it, right? It's definitely not going to be Omos, I'll tell you that much, right? But I could see a guy like like going back to like Trick Williams, right? I could see a guy like Trick Williams coming in and maybe aligning himself with the New Day, maybe getting Grayson Waller out because I don't know why the hell Grayson Waller is even a part of the current New Day setup, right? But maybe he come in and he kicks him out or beats him up and gets Grayson out of there, and he aligns himself with them to and make New Day a thing again, right?
Yeah.
Or something to that extent, right? I'm not trying to say like, oh, let's just all keep black talent together, right? I hate to see that, right? But I want to, again, I wouldn't mind seeing Trick Williams or a guy like Javon Evans come in and join the Vision, right? Have another guy join that group, make it a 4-man group, right? Kind of like the Four Horsemen type deal, right? Where all of them are like main event talent guys, right? I definitely want to see something like that. But we'll see,
Becky's
man.
just trolling at this point.
My name is Ashall Speed. I don't know what Sui is or whatever, or Sue.
Sue,
Is
I
somebody
don't
gonna
know.
get? Is there a lawsuit that's happening?
Have no idea. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
man.
But anyhow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
no,
Well,
it would be cool to see that. That's why I threw Xavier Woods' name in there because honestly, like the person that's hidden in that mask and in the hood and everything. I mean, A lot of people are pointing towards Austin Theory. That's a good candidate, especially if you're trying to describe the way the person's physique is. But you also got to remember too, like Xavier Woods is pretty built up too. You
Mhm.
know, I think a lot of like the flamboyant outfits that he wore in the New Day just kind of like obstructs people's eyes from that. But it could possibly be him. I mean, he could probably just want to break away from the New Day and just kind of do his own thing. I mean, we've seen that time and time again before. Remember the Nation had The Rock,
Mhm.
right? And obviously he excelled before becoming a singles, and then he joined the corporate, and then he rivaled
Yeah,
the corporate, and it just really elevated The Rock's career. And that's not a bad path for talent to take. So it's not out of the world to think Xavier Woods. I just think
I'm not disagreeing either there, but at the same time, it's like if you look at it this way, man, the New Day has been around for what 10 plus years already.
yeah,
Um, how long did the Nation of Domination last compared to
and it
what we
didn't
have
last
now?
very long, but
Exactly. So it's like I feel like I don't mind the longevity thing, man, but like I guess probably back then because we didn't have internet and social media, like things just happened so much faster and things also disconnected so much quicker, right? Like what Jesse Ventura said, before last night's event, you know what I mean? Like that to be a top guy for even just 5 years is incredible in the business, right? But the fact that John
right.
Cena did it for almost 25 years is crazy. So it's definitely different time, different era of what's happening right now. I think right now we're like in the longevity era of things, right? Where the top guys, guys like Roman Reigns have stayed top guys for a really long time. So man, we'll see. I don't know. Xavier Woods, man, I still have hope for him, man. I got to meet him in person. I got to play DDR with him. I don't know if I ever told you that story. I probably did.
No, you didn't.
Uh, oh yeah, I'll send you the picture, man. And I think there's a video also of me and him playing DDR together. So what happened was I think there was a weekend where the WWE had a double event here where I live. Back then they would do two shows back to back, and they did a Saturday and Sunday like house shows here. And I got tickets for both shows. So one of the nights, I think the first night, which was a Saturday night, one of my buddies was doing like an arcade opening, and he messaged me, and he's like, "Hey, do you know this wrestler?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know who it is." He's like, "Well, he's gonna show up to arcade tonight because I guess they were like communicating via Twitter at the time because you already know, but Xavier Woods is like a huge like a
Yeah,
gamer,
up, down,
so
down.
he went that night. He even took his fucking PS4, I think, to the event to the venue to play. But fun fact: Xavier Woods, growing up, was playing DDR at the arcade when he was an amateur wrestler in high school because he would do it to maintain his weight. So and they've even interviewed him about that actually, but there's probably several videos of him playing DDR online. But there's a video of me and him playing DDR together. I was like, man, I got to play with him at least one time. You know what I mean? And he was there playing. He's okay. I wouldn't say he's like super good, but he's good enough to do like some of the hard stuff, right?
Yeah,
But he's not bad, man. So I'll have to look up that video, man, and find it for you, and find it and maybe send it to you.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool to see. Oh, I don't got too much time left, man. I got like four
Yeah, no,
minutes.
no, yeah. If you got to get off, man, I mean, it's already three. We've already been on for like a good hour and a half already, man.
Yeah, you want to have
So
like some
yeah, man.
closing statements?
Any closing statements? Again, I guess just going back to the whole John Cena thing, and thank you guys for being here, the ones that watched. If you guys watched the replay, smash the like button, comment, and share the channel. Right, I think we're still over 100 subscribers at least for the
Yeah,
time being.
103, I think.
But going back to John Cena, definitely I appreciate what his career, what he did for the business. Was he my favorite wrestler throughout his longevity? No, he definitely was not my favorite wrestler, but I think he's a wrestler, a guy that we could all say we ended up, maybe you weren't a fan at first, but you became a fan. You respected what he was doing for the company, for the business, what he was doing outside of the company, with the the Make a Wish Foundation, and
Yeah,
him transitioning into acting and just being a good person overall. I think not having any not having any drama or anything going on. with him, outside of the WWE, at least for now, right? At least for now. But as far as like during his wrestling tenure, definitely, I think he was a guy that not just wrestlers looked up to, but children and fans. I think he was the guy that was always babyface, for so long for a reason. That way, the next generation of kids and talent would base their work ethic, their hustle, their loyalty to not just the company but to the business, right? So just to end it off there for me, right? I just respect John Cena, what he did for the company. I was a fan towards the end. During, especially, I think I became a fan, during that, CM Punk stint, when he was having the feud with CM Punk. I think that's where I was really gravitating, like, hey, I don't, where I was hating on John Cena, and now it became more of like a mutual respect for, what he can do in the ring and on the mic and for the company itself, right? I think that's where I'll leave it there, and definitely appreciate everything else he's done, man. So John Cena, I'll give you the salute, you know what I mean, and the you can't see me for that.
You can see him now. That's the moniker now. But
Yeah,
man,
yeah, see you.
Just in closing, I mean, same thing. I was not a diehard fan of Cena. But him and himself and just the way that he carried himself in the business, I think was the thing that like I had massive respect for. So, to see him go and the way that he did it too, I think I can, as a wrestling fan, I can appreciate that. Instead of just announcing a retirement like a week or two before, he gave everyone an opportunity for a whole year to just basically find their way of saying goodbye. And I think that was a great way to go out. So like, a lot of the things like The Rock was, pegged for of doing, wrong to the company, how he just left and stuff like that, didn't Hollywood. I think John just went about it on a more better way. For Rock fans out there, take what you want.
Not to take a shot at The Rock, you know what I mean? Because he's still not technically retired from wrestling if you think about it.
Yeah. But what like people will kind of like compare that because that was one of John's standpoints when he had that with The Rock. But
yeah,
at the
it's
end
true.
of the day, John had put a lot, into WWE. We got to see his ups. We definitely saw some of his downs, and there wasn't a lot of drama with him, but some of his personals leaked. The whole thing with him and what's her name,
AJ Lee.
No, Nikki Bella. Like
Nikki
their
Bella,
their actual relationship ending and stuff like that. She kind of put him out there. That was kind of messed up of her to really go out there and say the reason why they separated and why they never got married. But at the end of the day,
that's what it is.
He didn't do anything to kind of get back at her. And he didn't throw her under the bus or whatnot. Like John has always carried this stigma about him that whether you like him or not, whether you chanted "Let's go Cena" or you chanted "Cena sucks," you know what I mean? Like he took it all. And I don't think there's really a lot of talent that can do that can just carry the weight of both. So, big shout out to John Cena and his future endeavors. Obviously, with the skin cancer and everything, hopefully that's under control. And
I think he beat it actually, from what I was told.
did they announce? I didn't, because I've read about it, but I never knew if he actually beat it or not.
I'm not sure. I think it was like was it melanoma or something? I don't know if they removed whatever they need to remove out of him, but I think he's pretty good. I think he's good now.
Yeah, oh,
that's why his tan. That's why his tan came back a little bit towards the end because he was able to go get those tans at the end. So at the beginning of the year, you can tell he was really white and pale, but now he looked a little bit better towards the end.
Do you want to answer this question real quick before we go?
What's up?
Out of context, what do you think happens with this Jericho thing?
Ooh, so Chris Jericho is another one that we didn't really mention. Obviously, I believe 2026 might be his last year in wrestling as well. What happens, right? It's still up in the air. Is he going to come back to WWE, and is he going to retire with WWE, or is he going to stay in AEW? I think if he comes back to WWE, I don't think we're going to get like what we got with Cena, right? It'll be definitely a different story. I would love to see him do work with like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens again before he retires. But if that doesn't happen, then I wouldn't be upset. I think if he stays in AEW, I think Tony Khan will definitely give him a nice send off. And he'll definitely be affiliated with that company, always being their first champion. And you never know, maybe he could still continue to work with AEW in an executive capacity, right? As a talent recruiter or as a trainer, something like that, right? I don't think Jericho will ever be out of the wrestling business. as a wrestler, yes, but I think he'll always have something to do, whether it be, somebody that's like, on the microphone or backstage doing something. So I think Tony will give him a great send off. And I think WWE will give him a great send off. It might not be what we saw with John Cena, right? But I think WWE will still, give him a great exit as well. So that's my take on the whole Chris Jericho thing.
Yeah, I think for Chris Jericho, if he stays in AEW and they give him a retirement send off, that'll probably be like the thing that draws me to watch AEW for that one time. I can actually see it being both ways. I think not both ways where it's like one or the other, but I honestly feel like you're saying that there would be a send off in WWE. But I think if he stays in AEW, they get like, they get the bigger piece of the cake for his retirement. And then
Yeah.
once he's retired out of AEW, he can actually like appear in WWE and they could do something with him for retirement out of WWE.
He'll still get a Hall of Fame induction in WWE.
Yeah, he's got accolades in WWE, and you got to give it
Yeah.
to him, man. Best,
Yeah, for
one of the best
sure.
in the night.
For sure, I can say one thing. Like, hopefully, not including any scandals that have happened with him. Right, he'll most likely be the first AEW Hall of Famer, also.
Oh, Gene, Kevin Owens is not done. He'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He was sidelined, but he'll be back.
He had neck surgery. He had a neck injury. That's why. So he did have to get surgery. He's been out since before Mania, I believe.
Yeah,
so,
but his recovery time is going to take a while.
Yeah,
these neck things are very, very, very sketchy.
Yeah, he was there last night at Saturday night's main event. I'm glad he was there for Cena's last match, also in the ring with a few others. Good. Yeah, I'm unfortunately, there was faces that I would have liked to see, like Batista. I would have liked to see Batista there. I would have liked to see Edge there, obviously. There's a few people that are obviously not with the company anymore that definitely had a history with John Cena that we would have liked to see there. Just giving him a hug or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's still a business, and the company is going to do what's best for the company, right? We're not going to be able to see people that are not affiliated with the company. Guys like Jim Ross, even though Michael Cole did shout out Taz and Jim Ross during the pre-show. So you got to give it to him there that Jim Ross and Taz did call a lot of John Cena's early matches, especially Mania matches. So you can't take that away.
Yeah. All right, everyone. I do got to call it.
Alrighty, fellas. Again, we'll see you guys later. Thanks again for joining in. I'm not sure we'll be doing any more streams before the end of the year. So if this is the last stream of 2025, I'm glad it was about John Cena, right? But again, I'll follow up with Tito and Gil Heyman, see if we can set something up before the new year. If not, then Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody here.
That's right. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone ahead of time. And yeah, I think we can make something happen before the end of the year, but
yeah,
it's like a 50-50 thing. Just pay attention to the channel and the community tab, and one of us will post there if we're actually going to have one final live stream of 2025. Yeah. So you guys definitely want to keep notifications on so you don't miss that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, again, thank you, everybody, for joining in. Everybody have a great weekend, and y'all get some rest. Tito, we'll see you later, man.
All right, man.